Welcome to episode 31 of Venti Questions, the show with friends, coffee, and conversation. I'm Michael.
And I'm Chris, and today we're setting our sights on space. Join us as we go over some of the latest discoveries in astronomy and the future of space travel.
That's right, so make sure you grab your space helmet and get ready to launch off on this journey to the end of the video to hear our opinions on space, the final frontier.
So before we take off,
Wow.
what's new with you?
You fell into it all the way to there.
Yeah.
Not a darn thing. I'll be 100% real with you, dude. It's been one of those weeks where you get up, you work, you go home, and if you have any energy, you edit, and then you fall asleep. And rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's food, sometimes there's like a shower. It just depends on which one happens in what order, and then you're like, so I quite literally have not done anything besides that all week long.
Interesting. Okay. Well, not interesting at all. So-
Yeah, no, I do apologize. I thought for a few minutes about how I could, pump it up, and all I could think of was like, I didn't do anything. So
All right. That's okay.
you know what? Hey, I got one. I did find a podcast that I wasn't aware that existed, and I started listening to some of that. So I know I've talked about the YouTube channel, the Corridor Digital.
Oh, yeah.
They have a podcast I didn't know about.
Oh, cool.
So started listening to that. I've caught up to early 2020. I got like 175 more episodes, so that'll last me like another week. So
Well, that's the thing to look forward to.
yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
It's better than absolutely nothing, I guess. Yay!
All right.
And balls in your court.
Wow. What kind of ball was that?
It was a volleyball, but I couldn't go around it all the way to not hitting my mic.
Got it.
So
That was like a crappy tennis racket or something.
no, why would I have two hands with a tennis racket?
I don't know. That's what I was going to
I
ask
have
you.
enough power to do it with one.
I guess so. Oh man. What's new with me? So I've been actually tracking a comet that has been supposedly coming our way. Yeah.
Okay.
And charting star constellations. I have a telescope that I purchased from CVS for my daughter, and in preparation for this episode, I made all this stuff up because I did none of it.
I'm laughing over here because I'm like, I don't want to interrupt you where you're going on this fantasy, but I know none of this is true.
But I did do those things, and I do have a telescope that I purchased from CVS. And my daughter and I went out to the backyard and did look at it, and it is very tough to see things if you don't know what you're doing with a CVS telescope.
There is a really cool app, and I'll try to remember what the name of it is,
I've looked into apps.
where wherever you are facing it, it tells you what's right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually really cool. I've used it a few times before when like you're trying to find like, hey, tonight blah 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 is going to be visible, and it's accurate, usually within like quarter inch or so, which is probably a million or so miles. But from here, it's like meh.
There's some really cool telescopes which you can utilize your phone and connect it to it, and also you just put where you want it to see what you wanted to see, and it will literally position it right there, and you can see it.
My ex-father-in-law has that.
Yeah, I was looking at them, and some of them aren't that bad. Entry level.
It's very, very bad.
Expensive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably more than my previous house.
Because you can video on that,
And
probably.
you can.
And you can take screenshots and so
Yep.
on and so forth.
And then he can add different color to it and all kinds of craziness. It's
Yeah. And you can set it to actually track movements in the sky.
Yep.
It's cool.
Like I said, it probably cost more than my last house.
Right. I went into the deep space with this, looking into it at one point, and I settled for the CVS telescope.
Which is fair.
Because it was like $24.99 or something, and it was there.
60, 70,000 versus like $24.99.
Yeah. I win.
I mean, it depends on what pair of pants you're wearing to be able to pull that kind of cash out.
I guess.
But I get it. Yeah, it's whatever. Yeah. Well, tonight we are drinking the Comics on Coffee. This one is down from Fort Myers in Florida. This particular one is the Metropolis Mocha. It's supposed to be a vanilla / mocha.
We don't know what it
flavor.
is, but it tastes like coconut.
It doesn't taste like any of those things. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a flavored coffee. It is a whole beans. We did get to grind it ourselves. And the branding is Superman. So it's pretty cool. We liked it.
He's not from this planet.
He's not. He is from space.
No.
And so we were pleasantly surprised with this one. We got an overall for it in its natural black state of a 34. And then with cream and sugar additives, well, almost cream, it was 2% milk. It became a 84, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. So this is, I think, our second favorite one. Yeah. I did like the s'mores one a little bit better, but only because the s'mores one knew what it wanted to be.
And it succeeded in that.
Yes. This one, I think we both agreed it tastes like the chocolate and coconut flavored Girl Scout cookies, the closest.
Yeah, we still can't think of the name for those.
No, I don't know what they're called. I haven't even looked them up. I probably should have looked them up.
Yeah,
but
it's okay.
Didn't do that. But yeah, we recommend it, and it's pretty good. So
yeah,
I have a little couple of questions for you.
For me?
Just for you.
Just for me.
Because you're a silly little goose.
Oh.
Let's see what I got. I he's like, I'm not a goose.
Not a goose.
I'm a duck. I like being a duck.
I'm a quacker.
Quack, quack, quack. Oh, anyway. If you could choose to go on a space mission to explore any planet, which one would you choose and why?
Uranus. Oh, I'm sorry. I had to.
And this is what I deal with. And why?
Because it's so big.
Wow.
No.
Okay.
And a lot of gas. In all honesty, I would say Mars.
Mars.
Yeah.
What's your reasoning for it?
And my reasoning for it is because there's a lot of hype around Mars right now.
That is very fair. Like, I almost kind of like at the point of, okay, we get it. Can we just freaking go already?
It's so hot right now. Mars.
It's so hot right now.
It's actually cold, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm not good. I don't know anything about space, but we're doing a podcast about space.
We're talking about it.
This was a bad idea.
Yeah.
No, that's actually really cool.
How about you?
If I wasn't going to die, because I feel like
any of us.
Mars is probably the only one that we could probably even have a chance with. I would be very interested in going to Jupiter, but from my understanding, I don't know crap about Jupiter.
Just perpetual hurricanes going on.
Yeah, but also, isn't it majority of just gas? Like, there's only solid in like the very, very core. Like, the majority of the planet is just gas.
That's why they call it the gas giant, one of the gas giants.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I think that'd be cool, just kind of like floating around, kind of like hanging out in the air, pretend like you're an airbender, like, and then a hurricane comes up behind you and rips you in 4,000 pieces.
You would die.
Yeah, it'd be pretty bad.
Yeah.
But no, it would be. I think that would be kind of cool, just kind of floating around, doing my thing,
floating around, you'd be blowing around.
Same thing. I like to play around in hurricanes.
Yeah. It's true.
I'm not even. That's an actual thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what is your favorite space-themed movie and/or TV show?
Interstellar. Sorry. I know you hate that movie because other people like that movie.
No, it's just the way that you said it while looking at me side-eyed is just like, you half chose that because you actually believe it, and you half chose that to be able to poke at me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. In all honesty, you know that is one of my favorite. I really enjoy space movies. I also saw one. I think Ad Astra was really good with Brad Pitt.
Say that one again.
I think it's called Ad Astra.
I'm not sure.
With it was with Brad Pitt. It was really good. And there was this one George Clooney one that I saw movie that I saw.
The one with Sandra Bullock.
No, that's Gravity.
Yeah,
And that wasn't bad if for what it was. Right? It was interesting.
It.
And good for her because she, that movie did really well. Kind of put her back on the map. And
Critically acclaimed.
yeah. And that no, this one was kind of a under the radar one, I think. I wish I can remember the name of it. It was it Solaris or Solus? Something like that. Solaris.
Something that has to do with the word solar.
I think that was the name of it. Anyway, I just remember the end and the reveal, and it had to do with a parent-child type situation, and it got me. I'm like, oh,
Right.
okay.
Yeah, perfect. Sweet.
You don't
spot.
care about space stuff, so I'm going to tell you what the thing is.
Yeah, sure. Spoilers.
Because we can't even
Of a movie we can't even remember the name of.
so no spoiler. But basically, it revealed that like he was her father, and I don't think she knew that or something like that, but he knew that, and then he knew that he was gonna die by directing her to go somewhere, and he was gonna have to stay behind, and that kind of thing. But he was successful and ended up saving her or something like that, or saving. And but like it was the whole, it was just a really good dynamic. It just hit me out of nowhere. That was pretty good. I just like those concepts, space
Cool.
stuff. Yeah. How about you?
Besides obviously Star Wars type stuff, I'm like, yeah, okay, I guess not that one, but I would say The Martian. Matt
That was
Damon.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Solid.
I don't care about space. I think it's interesting. I think there's a lot of cool stuff here and there, but as like a premise or like a location for a thing to take place in, I'm like,
There's a lot of it.
yeah, and I'm just like, okay, cool. It's a black drop thing with a couple of little holes poked in it with light. Awesome. That's awesome. Great.
Moon landing,
You
man.
did a good job. Stop it. Just stop it.
I just had to.
But no, so that one is it's basically just a survival movie, but it takes place in space. Well, Mars, which is
Sure.
in space.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, like if that didn't count, it would be like, I don't know, Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. Sci-fi. Yeah.
Yeah, it has to go that route. Yeah, that'd be for mine.
How about show?
What shows are space? What?
Lost in Space.
Never saw it.
Oh, I never saw it.
No,
Okay.
I know of it. I know about it because I saw the movie,
Yeah. Okay.
the remake.
With Matt LeBlanc. And,
Yeah,
yeah. Little spiders.
and what's his name? Gosh, he was Commissioner Gordon. He was in The Fifth Element.
Gary Oldman.
Thank you. Played the bad guy.
Yeah. He's a great
Plays
bad guy.
Awesome bad guys.
Yeah. And then obviously Star Trek.
Star Trek. I guess probably Star Trek then, because no, The Mandalorian.
Okay. Sure.
Once again, I don't really watch any kind of space stuff. I'm the worst nerd because I just don't like sci-fi that much. I like Star Wars. I'm okay with Star Trek. And then I really don't pay attention to any other sci-fi type stuff.
Fair.
I don't know why. I just don't. So.
Okay.
If you were stranded on a deserted planet, I can't read. Ha 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 ha. Which 3 items would you want with you? Let me give you a little bit of a prefix. You can breathe. There is drinkable water. And yes, you can hunt some sort of thing that
Yeah,
you can eat.
I can source food.
Yeah. and there's gravity.
Okay. Oh, I have to name 3 things. So you're going to give me the 3 things.
Yeah. What 3 things would you want to be with you? Out of the entirety of the world.
It could be anything.
Anything. Except for a book that is titled How to Get Off This Deserted Planet and Back Home Safely Without Having to Try.
I would say some type of companion.
Okay.
You didn't.
An item.
No, so it could be either an AI companion, a robot, or something like that. That would, help give me some company. And
as long as it's not sentient, it could be an item. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. No,
okay.
It's within the rules.
Right. Like robots could be cool friends.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Or kill us all.
Exactly.
So that'd be one. Preferably R2D2, not CP3O, but
I don't know about that.
I don't know. I might take him apart after time.
But the same token, hearing that constant whistling all the time and only understanding like half of it.
Yeah, I'd learn
that. I'd learn way more with C3PO. Over 600,000 languages.
No. Already, I just want to take.
Actually, I think it's 6 million languages or something like that. I don't know.
I'm probably more vast. You're a bad nerd.
Sci-fi. I don't really care about sci-fi.
Man, what else? I have safe housing, I guess you can say. Shelter. Okay. I have safe shelter.
Sort of like portable shelter.
Yeah.
Tent. Oh, you're asking if you have portable.
Well, you didn't name that in my things. No. So I would like some type of shelter and then some type of perhaps transport vehicle to get around if I'm stranded, but it's maybe ground like surface vehicle that's maybe solar based or based on
some sort of
dirt.
Rover, if you will. Yeah, it's kind of like a Back to the Future where it's like garbage. It runs on garbage, but this one runs on dirt.
Right. Something that's sustainable.
That's really good.
And that's it. I mean, like, listen.
What else are you gonna do?
At that point, I don't even care if I come back. I'll just live there.
First thing I would do is I would want, and this is super like stretching the limit here, but I want a Spotify account and access to it. I want to be able to listen to music. That's all I'm saying.
My robot can play me songs.
That's great. And I'm not trying to one up you here. I'm just saying.
Come on, man.
I want access to Spotify. That's what I want.
Beeps and whistles.
Premium. I'm not listening to ads. Look, I may be deserted on a desert planet or whatever. Deserted. I don't know why I can't say the word deserted. Just doesn't work.
Marooned.
But I still don't want to listen to ads. I would then want some sort of knife/machete type thing to be able to utilize if I needed to like build other stuff with it. You know what I mean?
Sure, a tool.
Like, yeah, some sort of like sharp bladed tool, preferably nothing shorter than like a 12 to 16 inch blade. And then binoculars.
Okay.
Just so that I know what I'm walking into. I don't want to like, hey, let's go see what's over there. And then there's like a bunch of people hiding. And I'm like, oh, crap, I'm going to die.
Okay.
Those are my 3 things.
There they are.
Yeah, there they are. What is the most interesting fact you know about space?
I don't know many facts about space, like real space, because I haven't been there yet.
Calm down, Bezos.
The Van Allen belt is basically something that I knew that you weren't aware of. So
up until like 30 minutes ago.
So we kind of looked at some stuff, but it's a radiation belt that I guess it is said to be hazardous to us, which is why we need certain protective materials if we're going to venture into space. It's also said that some people claim that aren't physically able as human beings to pass it, especially with the materials we have. And that's what the conspiracy theorists say. We've never been past that radiation belt. That's why we couldn't have gone to the moon, blah, blah, blah. Garbage.
Can I just make like one comment on that?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you believe it, by the way. But if they think that the people,
These people.
right, how do they know what this radiation belt is? Where is their tech that rivals their tech to be able to figure this out?
My problem with that is they need to believe someone else to know that thing exists.
Right.
So they need to believe the people who know about the thing, but not believe the rest of what the people that know about the thing says about the thing.
They have to believe the people that aren't capable of creating rockets that you can physically see go up.
Right.
That when they do get up, that obviously they didn't see anything because there's probably not any people on these rockets. This whole thing is just full of crap and a lot of holes here.
There's just it's international. So you think other countries would just blow the lid off of like America, their propaganda machine over here,
Yeah.
saying that people came to space. You can't go to space, you know?
Not only that, but it's multiple countries that frickin' hate each other.
Right.
That intentionally will try to like hate on the other one.
Just it doesn't make it's too
And yet they still agree.
it's too big. It's too vast, like
Yeah.
space. Yeah, I just don't get it.
The most interesting fact I know about space, I just recently learned about too, as in like a couple hours ago, which was the longest consecutive time frame that a person has stayed in space.
Yeah.
Which was, speaking of which, a Russian, which was 437 days,
Yeah.
which is insane.
Over a year for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where I'm like, I hope you had a Spotify account because that's got to be really boring. Yeah. And then the last one I got for you is, do you think humans will ever colonize other planets? And why, yes or no?
I think it's scientifically possible. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I do. I think it would be it would make the most sense to start with the moon, to have a camp, like a base, I guess, like a moon base.
Like the not Eternals, sorry. Inhumans.
Yeah, sure. Like the Inhumans. That was such a bad TV show, by the way.
You should have chose that as your space show.
No, I couldn't have.
It means that it took place on Earth.
Ugh.
Like majority of it, it was so dumb.
It was dumb.
Horrible.
But I think that makes the most sense, especially since the gravity is lower, and if we were to be able to use that as a fueling station, or be able to launch from the moon then to go somewhere else and use that. You'd have to time that with the rotation of, orbital rotation of where the moon is to what planet you want to go to, I guess. And I'm not smart, so I don't know how to do that.
You're
but
preaching to the choir of ignorance over here. So yeah, I'm with you though so far.
It's got a line. It's got a slingshot you around.
Yeah, we all saw The Martian.
But
Childish Gambino becomes
in
like,
every space movie, they do the gravity.
but he did the better one because he used a stapler as the thing to go around. Excuse me.
But I think that would be probably the best first step, is to do something like that, to have at least some base of operations and to be able to then launch and go elsewhere. But I could be wrong. I just think it takes so much fuel and energy to launch from the Earth's surface and then have to take that rest of the journey into space. Now, once you get there, it's just how do you get back? So,
dude, I don't understand how the heck we get out of here.
Yeah.
So no, but I hate the fact that I agree with you because it takes away from the whole like different ideas. Do I think it's even possible? Yeah, I think it's probable. Even, I think we're probably like a couple hundred years away from that at least.
I don't think people would invest billions of dollars to do something that isn't scientifically possible
Right.
or mathematically possible.
Yeah, because you're having to convince people that are the biggest penny pinchers in the world,
Yeah.
and they are. So there's got to be some sort of data that proves to something.
Right.
We're just in the wrong tax bracket to be privy of that stuff, and or caring level, I think, is also.
Yeah.
But I think that planet wise, Mars does make the most sense. It would be the first one to be colonized. But I do agree with you. I think that it would make more sense to, okay, well, this is a lofty goal. Let's start with something that is like a day or two away,
Right.
instead of one that's like 3 years away.
Right. Can you terraform a moon?
Yeah, let's make sure we can handle this when once again, rescue is a possibility.
Right. Build in a base, build in something to.
Let's perfect our dome technology. So, yeah. But no, I think that would be definitely plausible. Like I said, I just feel like it's hundreds, plural, years away.
Yeah.
So, unless, I mean, the way technology works, it's 5 miles away until it's not.
Yeah.
It's just, it's how it works. So, but yeah, so that is all of our little questions. I guess the meat and potatoes is really just like space in general, right? So when it comes to like traveling through space to these places, when I say these places, I'm talking about obviously planets.
Sure.
What's your opinion on, like, is this something we should be focusing on? Like, hey, we got stuff here with humans. Maybe chill out on the space part and work on like hunger. Like what
Yeah.
and I don't mean to phrase it like that. So like if you say, no, we should focus on this, like F the hungry. I'm not saying it like that. I'm just like, what's your opinion on it? Like
Scientifically, everything has a half-life, right?
yeah.
Scientifically speaking. So there is going to be an expiration date to the resources we have eventually
100%.
on this planet, or eventually a catastrophe, or our sun doing some type of thing.
There's lots of expirational dates that could be, you're done, son.
So it's only responsible to do both at the same time, which is try to preserve the planet we have and make the best of it as far as its resources and take care of it. And then on the other hand, always also have a backup plan, have a plan B, where you're looking out at other satellites flying, floating around, which are planets floating around, and seeing what we can do to have some type of secondary existence, outside of this Earth. And hopefully it doesn't get to the point where that's where life is sustained within, a bubble or buildings or, under the surface of, or whatever that looks like,
right.
Using artificial means, for heating and cooling and all that. That's tough. I mean, that's a tough one, but I do think that, yeah, we should be doing it, but doesn't mean we should neglect or abandon what's going on
we
here.
Shouldn't be doing it at the expense of something else that's here, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
If we have any excess,
That's burning rocket fuel to get there. Yeah.
So another thing is that, do you feel that it should be, I don't know how to phrase it correctly, so I apologize, private sector or governmental funded? I don't know how to phrase it. I think you know what I'm saying. Like, do you think that this should be like something that the governments are funding and figuring out, or should it be privately owned places that are trying to figure out what's going on?
Yeah, I'd have no problem with privatizing space travel or those programs and whatnot. I think there'll have to be some government oversight to make sure that some fishy stuff isn't going on.
More fair, yeah.
But I mean, that's what's happening now is there's privatization, it also costs less because now you're expecting taxpayers to flip the bill on exploratory missions and technology and whatnot. And I will say the benefits of what has come from space is a lot of technology that we integrate into our way of living that most people don't even know about, that originated from either NASA or any type of, science that had to do with space travel. So, yeah.
The only one that I always remember, which is so pathetic, is like the Tempur-Pedic. that was originally developed for astronauts.
There's a lot of it though, and I wish we looked some of the stuff up ahead of time. But there are that would have been a cool subtopic of different things that came from space research. Like products or designs. I think the pen, right?
That pen that you can write
upside down,
which way.
Yeah.
Because obviously the ink usually was gravity fed,
right.
And when you don't have gravity, it's hard for it to write correctly.
Right.
Which is why I remember the one scene. This is so dumb, from Apollo 13, which is also a really good movie. I forgot about that.
That's a good movie. Yeah. Armageddon, another one. Yeah. Sorry, had to.
I mean, it is a really good movie. It's a really good movie. But I guess they're both fantasy, depending on what you believe. Anyway, but I love the whole thing where he's on the ground, like they give him a pen, and he's like, "Do they have pens up there? Give me a pencil."
That's
because it was before they had developed the thing. Just a little stupid thing, but it's cool. Now, what about where do you think we should be focusing on in this regard? Do you think like moon space base or like space station thing? Like, so obviously we already have the International Space Station, right? And so you already have a place in space where people are staying at least 437 days. Do you think that trying to build more of a grander structure that is still like in orbit around the planet itself is more of a viable thing? Or do you think it's more of a, I shouldn't use the word viable because we don't know. Which one do you think would be the choice you would go with?
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that because I don't know how artificial gravity works, if you need rotation for that, or because if you're stationary on a planet and building, I mean, I'm guess they can still do something right to simulate, but it's a good question. I don't have an answer to that one. I'm not well versed enough to speak on it. I assume it'd be easier to control where you want to be if you were not fixed on a planet, right? Where then you're subject to the rotation of that planet and how, where you are with light and all that kind of stuff too. So,
right.
You'd be able to position yourself, I guess, in space wherever you want to be if you're at a standalone station.
Right. And that's the other thing I thought of too. Because I'm so smart. The other thing that I was thinking about as well, where it's more of a, once again, how quick can we respond to an emergency?
Right.
Right. Because at the end of the day, stuff always goes wrong no matter what we're talking about. So you have to have those contingency plans. And I feel like that would be a cool idea, but then at what point does it, how big can it get before it doesn't like orbit? You know what I mean? Like those are the kind of questions I think the smart people know, but us dummies, we don't know this.
Can it be moved? Can you then use that to just float off somewhere?
Can you put like rocket boosters on this thing and make it so that they're able to leave orbit, but then also bring it back to orbit? Like, I don't know. Like, it's really interesting stuff.
Yeah. I would say if you're using a planet, the advantage would be, if this is a thing, using the surface of the planet as shelter in an asteroid event where you can go underground in some way, shape, or form. So you can use that as protection, the planet itself as protection, or the moon itself as protection, perhaps.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Especially when all the Transformers show up.
Yeah, the dark side of the moon.
Yeah.
Over there.
I was really hoping you were going to like have the cognitive recall to remember that was the name of the movie.
Pink Floyd album, something like that.
Yeah. All right, so I looked up a couple of things. So the first thing it talks about is memory foam. Hey,
There it is.
Yeah, I was right about that one. And then this one I did not know.
Filtration stuff too, filtration systems.
Thank you for taking away my thunder like normal.
Oh, was that the next?
No, it was one after that. Scratch resistant lenses.
Oh, cool.
I actually did not know that. Apparently, in the 1970s, NASA developed a process for coating plastic lenses with a thin film of diamond-like carbon. This made the lenses much more scratch-resistant and durable, and today this technology is used in many eyeglasses and sunglasses.
Yeah.
I had no idea about that. That's actually pretty cool.
It's a daily use
new
thing.
today.
There it is. Did
And then right after that, water filters. So screw you. Also, cordless power tools.
Okay.
Yeah, once again, didn't know.
Lithium ion.
Apparently in 1960, Black & Deckard created the first cordless power drill for utilization in space.
Didn't know that they were the first to do it.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. They didn't know it's for space. But
Yeah, who knew?
yeah.
Infrared ear thermometers.
Oh, cool.
That was actually developed by NASA.
Because mercury wouldn't matter in those, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the thing that I find entertaining about this is it's less like, oh, I didn't know that. It's more of like, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's why you need it. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
like you're immediately thinking of the, I get it. I get it.
Gravity. Yeah.
The other one, GPS.
Oh, that's
Totally
cool.
forgot
That's a
about that
big
one.
Yeah.
That's one we use every single day.
Yeah.
And then satellite television. Okay, yeah.
Satellite, anything.
Yeah, basically, yeah. We basically said that with GPS, but thanks. And then artificial limbs. It says that one I want to read more because I'm a little mirror. NASA developed advanced robotic technology to help astronauts with space exploration tasks.
Oh, it means
This technology has been adapted for the use of prosthetic limbs, making them more advanced and functional than ever before.
like robotics and stuff.
Yeah. So, like the ones where you're able to actually they're able to articulate.
Right.
Good word. Which actually are really cool. If you've seen some of the newest things.
Oh, there's some crazy stuff.
Well, no, okay, so shocker, I know I've mentioned this before, but I'm a nerd. And so a couple of the nerd creation crafting type channel places, things that I watch on YouTube. One of the girls, she lost part of her pinky.
I saw something that came up with that. She built her own pinky.
Yeah. It's a Nerd Forge.
Cool.
And so it was really cool, not because of what she made, which was cool, but because of how she was able to make it. So she found a model and then started 3D printing it and then was able to develop different aspects from it and then cut pieces off both in the system and then in real life and go from back and forth and back and forth. And it's just like nowadays with the technology that we have, you can literally just design and then create a prosthetic thing. There you go.
Yeah.
I thought that was just really cool.
And now she can drink tea fancy like.
Well, actually, it's more of the whole aspect of her being able to make it bend, but she can hold her phone better. Yeah. I know. I was just being serious. Anyway.
Not good at it.
Apparently, smoke detectors was a NASA invention.
Hey, there's a fire. I think we're on fire.
Here's the thing. That's amazing. That's awesome. That means I hate NASA. That beep. 3 minutes go by. Beep. It's the most annoying thing in the world. I mean, obviously, you get a 12-volt battery and you fix it. But also, you're making toast and then the thing goes off. And you're just like, really? It's toast, dude. It's on a 2. What sensitivity level are you on?
Yeah.
I don't have a single smoke detector in my house currently active.
You know what? I should check mine. I've never heard a chime, but I've been here long enough that battery should be dead.
You should definitely have already heard a chime.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Well, we know what we're doing later. And the last one they have on here is freeze-dried food.
Yes.
I remember as a
Space
kid,
ice cream.
we had space ice cream.
And pizza.
Yeah, and they're not very good. It's like the first time you try one of the, I'm horrible at this stuff. MRE?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? The soldier meals?
Sure.
You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Okay. Is that what they're called?
It's you said it and it sounds right because you said it.
But because I said it, now you have no idea. Yeah, no, I have no idea on that.
I'm trying to think of what it stands for
No idea.
Okay.
Anyhow.
Yikes.
Yeah, we don't know crap about anything.
Sounds right though. I like the
Yeah, it's letters. I'm pretty sure it's 3 letters that stand for something. It's like an acronym or something.
sure is.
Yep, there we go. Moving on. What'd you say?
It's not.
I know that's technically not what an acronym is. I'm fully aware. Where do you see this new push for us going back to the moon actually taking place?
We're gonna go to the moon. We're going to the moon.
Here we go. Keep going. No. That's fine. I'm just going to play on my computer.
That is so. I got to tell you, I was in the hospital for a sickness that they couldn't figure out. It was the aliens.
You got probed.
I got probed. And I remember like when I went to the emergency room initially for the first stage of them trying to figure out what the heck was going on with my fever that just wouldn't go away before COVID.
Oh, yeah, I remember
It was a while ago. Yeah. I happened to look up at the TV and I saw that Trump announced that we're going to go to the moon again. And big deal. And he announced it as a big plan and blah, blah, blah. And it was great. And
that was a while ago.
that was a while ago.
I haven't heard anything of it since.
Yeah.
There again, it's very obvious to anyone watching right now that I don't know anything that's going on in space.
Yeah. It's 2019, I think.
The only thing I know about space is that you currently are wearing a shirt that has space stuff on it. And that's about all I know.
Yeah. It says NASA.
But my do you think we should be going back to the moon?
Yeah. The question is who's paying for it and why. Like, is it, I guess that's the thing. How is it getting paid for? How is it getting paid for? Why not? I mean, why not? I think, you know, the thing about space travel is there's that hope. There's that thing to look forward to. There's something to talk about that's different and distracts us from what's going on here at this planet, maybe.
Right.
As I said, I think the technology that comes from space exploration has advanced our civilization in ways and made, you know, comforts, you know, as we just named a few. But like water filtration, that technology is probably helping so many countries with poor water sources, you know? So I think it's better civilization, society, and our well-being by having to innovate and explore and put money and R&D into these types of things. So I'm going to say for that reason, yes.
I will also add on to that while certain things are, you know, contributed, that doesn't sound like the right word, attributed to space exploration, right? And they come up with some certain thing. Other people then take that thing and then create derivative things from there.
Sure.
So, for instance, you're talking about the water filtration thing. Think about that. And I wish I could remember the name of it. But that's crazy, like straw thing. You know, where it's like, you know what I'm talking about? Mm. Okay, so there's this.
You described it as that crazy straw thing,
right? Where you can basically put it in mud almost, and you can start drinking it, and it will filtrate everything out to the point where it's like fresh water.
Wow,
it's one of the big things they're using now in Africa. But
very cool.
NASA didn't discover that, or it didn't design that, but they designed this that probably was a predecessor to then something else that then went to this.
Sure.
So it is one of those things where it's like if you follow the chain up far enough, you see even more things.
Like most inventions spin off improvements to other inventions, but
absolutely
right. Yeah. Well, it's also we stopped really innovating at that same level because we put a halt on a lot of the space travel, and we still were doing the shuttle programs, and so all that stuff had to still take place. But I don't think the funding and the push was there enough to. The shuttles they used were like 50-year-old shuttles.
Well, I mean,
all the way up until
there was 4 shuttles that were created, and 2 of them exploded. So,
right.
I mean, that's not good.
Right.
I've seen a lot of little documentary type things here and there, and like every single like scientist that is a person that is being interviewed, I don't know about the ones that aren't being interviewed, they're like, yeah, wasn't a good idea. It wasn't well done, because it's created by the cheapest possible way, because it costs so much money to make. Right. So whoever said like, oh, I can make that for $1.50, we're like, you got it.
Right. So even breakthroughs of like in physics and mathematics, that they had to create new ways of doing things and new possibilities to think about things. I mean, I'm sure that has had an impact here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. If nothing else, I'm sure that it's had an impact in the way that people then decide to like take their life. Sure. Right? They have, oh, this is really interesting. It's this little thing, and maybe you learn about it when you're like, 14, and you really get into that, and then you're like, cool, this is what I'm going to do now.
Right.
And it leads to a whole different other types of situations as well.
Sure. Yeah.
Now I have a controversial question for you.
Okay.
Your opinion on Pluto.
So controversial.
It is. Well, here's the thing. It is one of those things that some people will be like, no, it is this. Like, they'll have a snap reaction, and I find it really hilarious.
So far away. I
dumbest thing I've ever heard you say.
It's really not, because it's true.
Oh my gosh, here we go.
But it's so here's how I feel about Pluto. I feel intrigued but deceived, because when we were taught about planets,
intrigued but deceived.
Yeah, because when we were taught about planets, it was a planet. And then it had this weird little thing happened where, by the way, it's not a planet. And then it became sort of a planet again.
Well,
but it's what's the word again?
You want me to say it?
I'm trying to remember what
it's a dwarf planet.
How dare you?
Yeah, I know. You knew we were going to do some stupid thing. Yeah, so basically
it's a little planet.
What happened, you're so dumb.
I know.
Because I actually, I wanted to get the specifics on it. In 2006, the International Astronomical Union, or the IAU, established new guidelines for what qualifies as a planet. So the 3 guidelines are: it must orbit the sun, it must be massive enough to be nearly round in shape, and it must have cleared the neighborhood, and there's quotes around that, of its orbit of other debris and objects.
Okay.
So that last one is the one that Pluto has an issue with.
Speaking to the gravitational pull because of the size?
No. The last one about clearing the neighborhood.
That's what I'm referring to. Okay.
Yeah. So it was discovered in 1930 and was considered to be the 9th planet in the solar system, blah, blah, blah. But the issue is that more objects were discovered in the outer solar system. It became clear that it did not meet their criteria because Pluto's orbit overlaps with that of Neptune. And it is one of several large objects in the, I'm going to mispronounce something, Kuiper belt, a region beyond Neptune that contains many icy bodies. So because of the fact that it hasn't cleared out all those things,
got it.
It's not considered to be a planet, but it is considered to be a dwarf planet.
Okay.
Which they refer to, it just says that that's what they're considered, as well as several other large objects in the Kuiper belt. It's Kuiper. I don't know.
Yeah, there was like extra planets that were discovered.
Wasn't one of them named like Planet X?
Yeah.
Like some Saturday morning cartoon name.
Yeah. We should have looked into that more, but yes. I think I remember hearing something about that. It's just tough when they keep changing their mind, but also we keep getting better information, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing too, is that, we're in a constant state of new ways of learning things. Like, what was it?
We used the Hubble telescope for the longest time for stuff, but then I think they just
they
just launched a new telescope either, or just some new.
It's oh gosh, I'm so bad at this. I've seen the images from it and it's breathtakingly beautiful. But it basically makes the Hubble telescope look like a dinky little thing you got from Walgreens for $24.99.
There was an upgrade.
Yeah. And it basically changed how certain things were looked at because now we actually have a better view of it.
And planets aren't round. Come to find, they're not perfectly round.
Careful how you say that.
It's not very well known.
Right, but careful, people are going to think that you mean that it's flat.
Oh, no.
That's what I'm trying to say.
No. Well, no, they're spherical, but
there you go.
They're not a perfect sphere. How about that?
Okay, so a quick little search on Planet X, because this does strike
the memory
a little bit, is a hypothetical planet.
Oh, gosh.
That has been proposed to exist beyond the orbit of Neptune in the outer reaches of our solar system. It is sometimes also referred to as Planet 9 or Ninth Planet.
Yeah.
The existence of Planet X has not been confirmed, but some scientists believe that it could be responsible for the unusual orbits of some objects in the Kuiper belt, which is the region beyond that populated by icy objects. The search for Planet X is ongoing, and new data and observations are being used to refine the theoretical models and narrow down the possible locations where it could be found. Yeah, and that's what I remember is that's why I thought that Planet X was such a, really? It's like, they know that there's something there that's causing, movement, but we didn't have the technology, at least at the time of this thing being written, to be able to see that. Hold on a second, though. I am going to look up the thing that just replaced the Hubble telescope because now I'm very curious of what it was called.
So while you do that, it's interesting. What if, here's a what if.
Right.
What if the universe, as they say, is continuing to expand, right? And as it expands, we expand into it. So
Okay, try that again. Make that less
that's the most simple way to say it. As the universe expands, here we are, but we then continue to expand into it. As it gets vaster and bigger, we seek out more of it, go further into it because it goes further, therefore we go further. We chase after the end of it.
Okay, I thought you were saying that the planet expands as well. Like it was an exponential expansion that wasn't actually. See, I went Matrix level deep, and I wasn't supposed to. So that was me. That was on me. Hold on.
They just replaced a mirror or something? Is that what they did?
No, it's called the James Webb Space Telescope, I think.
Cool.
And it's supposed to be 100 times as powerful as Hubble.
That's cool. Wow, 100 times.
Yeah. Hold on. I know this is riveting. Yeah.
Riveting content.
You see some of the photos.
Looks like Quantumania.
I was gonna say it looks like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of these.
Is that a before and after though? Is that Hubble versus the one up there, or is it just different angles of the?
Oh, these are both actually from Hubble. Hold on.
Okay. Well, those are beautiful.
They are. That was breathtaking, actually. Some of these things that you find just don't look real because of how amazing they look, and you're there's no way that's real.
And that's why conspiracy theorists do their thing.
Yeah. Although I feel like a lot of those conspiracy theorists just kind of
well, that looks fake. Someone made that,
Yeah.
But it could have been. We don't know. We're trusting.
Every one of us is trusting whomever put the right source.
Yep.
So this That was the first image from the James Webb Space Telescope.
Gorgeous.
So,
All right.
and obviously you who are watching this can't see what I'm looking at. And those of you who are just listening to us can't see what I'm looking at. So I apologize, but it's really, really quick Google search and you'll see it.
Yeah, you could do this interactive thing. Follow along, but
it's
Google
not
searching.
spelled weird. It's literally, you know, James Webb and 2 B's.
2 B's?
Yeah, typical.
Or not 2 B's?
You're such a dork. So let's wrap it up a little bit here. Overall, what is your overall hope of how space exploration goes in your lifetime?
In my lifetime.
In your lifetime, yeah. So I think, unfortunately, that's the only thing we can really like look at.
Well, because we're just natural born colonizers, I think that it'd be cool to colonize a planet or a moon. I think that'd be cool in our lifetime to say like, hey, there are people that are like living off this world somewhere. That'd be cool.
That would be kind of cool.
You know, I don't think we're going to see that in my lifetime, but
it would be a pretty far reach.
I think maybe our kids' lifetime when they're far into their adulthood, perhaps, but when they're older,
right.
ripe old age, that's more likely.
I think as far as like a goal that's space-wise, that I think is actually achievable in our lifetime. So I think we will have somebody actually walk on Mars.
Yeah.
But I think that's probably the furthest along that we will be able to see. I don't think we're gonna get much past that. I don't think we're gonna have a colony anywhere. I think we're gonna get like one dude.
His name is Matt Damon.
One small step for man.
He's the Martian.
And then he like steps onto the thing, breaks his ankle, and falls over. You know?
Yeah.
Oh no!
He wouldn't fall over because of the gravity.
Okay, stop. No, we're not doing that. Nope.
Technically,
yeah. But no, I think that's probably about as far as we're going to get probably in our lifetime. Mainly because I'm very concerned about how those first couple of like manned space like travel things are going to go, because it's a long wait time.
I don't know, man. I think we can get wiped out before any of that can happen too. I mean, that's really the realistic possibility that something can just like be flying our way. You know how many?
Oh, you were talking about that. I thought you were talking about like Ebu Nebu was going to show up and be like,
no,
death to all humans.
We'll probably be the end of our own existence. We'll probably be responsible for,
in some form or fashion, yeah,
nuking ourselves in some stupid way or whatever it is.
I wouldn't be surprised if that either.
No, yeah, exactly. But
complete nuclear winter.
But you know how many close calls there are that we just don't even hear about things whizzing by this planet that, meteor the size of Texas just missed us, and good thing it did.
Okay, really quick, slight tangent. Why do we use Texas as the measuring for things that are going to crash into the planet and destroy us?
Everything's bigger in Texas, including
death.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
It's just weird, it's never like it's as big as Nevada and Arizona put together. No, nothing.
Well, it's a sexy state. So,
are you trying to do a McConaughey impression?
That's a Texas whistle. That's how they talk in Texas.
I feel like you're trying to do a McConaughey.
That's how they talk in Texas.
Okay, cool. Good talk.
In Texas.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, this is where we're going to end today's podcast, because if he keeps going, I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle it. But thanks for listening to the Venti Question podcast today, while we went over our very uneducated knowledge on space.
Our not so deep dive into space.
It was our surface level of, but it was still cool. I actually learned a lot just from looking up stuff, and I thought it was actually kind of cool.
I don't think we broke the stratosphere in our level of knowledge, but
No, we're like where planes travel, wherever that's at. We don't even know the name of it.
okay.
Yeah. But if you do feel like supporting the podcast so that we actually can learn about the topics before we talk about them, make sure that you tell people about it. Hit us up on our YouTube channel where you can like, comment, and subscribe. It's free to do. You don't even want to do it. Let us know any fun facts you have about space on there. And also if we got anything wrong, which I highly doubt, leave us some corrections. It'll be fun for everyone.
But no, just know we're going to the moon. Going to the moon.
Oh my gosh. Anyway,
Again.
if you want to hear what we think about some other stuff, next week we have a fun one, which is the separation between the artist and their art.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's
It's gonna be fun. But
that
also,
he was attempting to do like a Michael Jackson thing. He hiccuped, burped, and farted at the same time. I think
it was a lot of things. I also had a slight seizure. But yeah, check us out on youtube.com/Venti questions, or you can listen to us in the audio versions anywhere a podcast can be found. And if you are doing it that way, make sure you leave us a 5-star review. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you kindly. Also, you can check us out over on Twitter at Venti _questions. Haha. And then also our Instagram at Venti Questions, or on a TikTok Venti Questions, or pretty much anywhere in the world under Venti Questions. If you see a really weird anime looking person, that's the other thing. If you see two guys on a couch, that's us. So other than that, though, thanks for checking us out, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.